Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this demonstration. And we are calling this PLR Makeover. This is actually session one of the three-part series that we are doing as Wealthy PLR. And you are very familiar with the product owners, Jonathan Tang and Sharon Lai. Now, I am the product manager. My name is Charles Harper, and I will be guiding you through these three lessons. And let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing here. Now, we are calling this the Profit Maximization Project. And what we're going to be doing is helping you to maximize your PLR. Now, obviously, you have a package that you want to be able to take it and you want to actually be able to make money with it. And that's what we're going to be showing you over these next three sessions, how you can do that. Now, obviously, in the three sessions, we've got some very specific things that we want to cover. Now, in tonight's session, we're going to be talking about how to do a PLR makeover. And obviously, you want to take your PLR and you want to make it unique and you want to repackage it and reposition it for uniqueness. Now, you also, of course, want to be able to target it to a market. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be giving you some, I believe, some cutting edge strategies on what you can do to not only make it unique, but to also fit it into a market where people will desire to buy it. Now, once you've done that, of course, you need some strategies to be able to generate traffic. You need some strategies that you're going to need in order to actually put it in place so that you can start making money with it. And that's what we're going to be covering in session two. Now, in session three, we imagine that once you've watched the first two sessions, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a Q&A session. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting this whole path together for you. We're going to be answering your questions, and we're going to help you to put together the pieces so that not only can you make your PLR unique, but that you can also really start to generate profit as soon as humanly possible. Now, so what are we going to be doing tonight? Well, the goal of tonight, right? The goal of tonight is to make your PLR package unique to the marketplace. Now, again, obviously, we're going to be talking about how you can make more money. But tonight's session is going to focus on making sure that you get to the market with the right product. And in general, and one of the things that I want to kind of talk to you about as we get started is when you use PLR, if you can approach it from the right perspective, you have with you have the ability to take basically the products that are already done for you, to reposition them, and then to be able to give them to people who actually need the content that's in them. And what you've done is you've leveraged the work of someone else. In other words, you have done the part of the marketing, you've done the part of building relationships, and what the PLR does for you is it puts you in position to actually sell to generate profit. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I want to let you know who I am. And basically, I have been in business since 1990. I've been involved in internet marketing since 2007. I've been a warrior since then. I've been working with Jonathan and Sharon as their product manager for well over a year. I had my own successful business writing and creating offline PLR. I just recently sold off and did a retirement sale and pretty much focused pretty much on teaching. So I left offline PLR so that I can do some teaching at Eastern University where I'm a professor. I also do interviews with small business owners and authors as a blogger. And my ultimate vision is to create the largest tutorial resource for small business marketers and solopreneurs so that I can fund apprenticeship programs here in the United States if that's where if you're outside of there. And so that's sort of about me. Now, what we want to do is kind of get into tonight what we're going to be kind of doing in general over the next three sessions. So I want to start here by trying to determine what is a PLR makeover? What is it that really, what are we really trying to accomplish? What are we really trying to do in this first stage, again, so that we can ultimately make money? So basically, a PLR makeover is taking what you have and getting it ready to sell. In other words, we are here to make money. We didn't just buy a PLR product for it to sit on our hard drive. We got it to make money. So ultimately, our goal is to get this package ready in order to sell. Now, there are some things that we need to do, though, in order to get it ready to sell. There's some things that we need to do before we start really putting it on the market. There's some things that before we actually start sending traffic to the offer or promoting it that we need to do. And of course, we start by thinking about research. Research. I'm going to call these things, these are the 7 R's of a PLR makeover. Getting it ready to sell is going to first take research. Now, what are you researching? You want to find out what the market really wants. What is it that has been selling in the past? Now, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You need to find out what the market wants. What are people desiring? What are they demanding? So what can you do to make money? Now, there are some things that you can do to actually research. Let's talk about a few of them, because one of the best things you can do is to find out what people are buying that's related to the product that you are working with. So we're going to be working with a Facebook product. So we're going to research now what's going on in the marketplace when it comes to Facebook. What are people looking for? What are they searching for? So let's stop for a second and let's go over to the Warrior Forum and let's do a little research. Now, here we are in the Warrior Forum. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to take a look and take a look in the product selling area. And of course, we do that best by visiting 2 places. We can first visit the Warrior Special Offers Forum. We can also visit, in this particular case, we can also visit the Social Media Marketing Forum so that we can find out what questions people have that are going to be obvious to you. So let's first take a look at the Warrior Special Offers Forum, and then let's do a search. Okay, here we are inside of the Warrior Special Offer Forum. We're going to do a search here, and we're just going to type in Facebook. And click go. Okay, now for the sake of time, I mean, we can do all kinds of searches. We could do FB, we could do anything, but what we want to see is, what are people selling, right? What are people, what are the things that are actually making money when it comes to Facebook that are about, or that have that content in it? And you're going to see some things here. Easy automated cash system, right? Put your Facebook marketing on autopilot, so somebody's doing a service. Okay, CPA marketing and Facebook, right? So that's something that people are looking for. Apparently, they're actually buying there. We can take a look and we can see here there are WordPress plugins. There's SEO. 21-cent leads, so people are generating leads. So that's obviously going to be something that people might be used to. Scheduling posts to Facebook groups. So there are all kinds of things here that we can take a look at, and we can start thinking about, okay, what are people really looking for? What are some of the things that they would like to see a product created on? Or even better than that, what's already selling? If you know a product is selling and you can figure out what to do with it, what it's missing, and what you can add to it, then you can actually profit. I mean, how many of us buy products in multiple products in the same area? Typically, when we learn one new thing, then that's good enough. So now let's take a look at the next section, which is going to be the social media marketing section, because we want to see what kind of questions that people have. Okay, so you're going to see a number of things here, right? A number of things, and a lot of these things are going to be about Facebook. Now, what do you do about that? What you want to get is, you want to get a handle on what people are really having a problem with, what people are really wrestling with, and whether or not you can solve it with your product, whether or not you got it inside of your PLR product, or whether or not you're going to add to it in order to get it. Okay, so now you have actually um, the research in front of you. You're going to do some searching on about whether or not Facebook, is involved here. You want to find out the questions that people really have. So you can do what we've just done in any forum. I just did the warrior forum, but of course we can do this in any forum. We can do this actually inside of any of our Facebook groups, right? That are about that are about Facebook. Anything that we can do in order to get real people to tell us what it is that they are having a problem with, so that when we design our product, we really do have something that people are going to want. Okay, so now let's kind of rejoin where we were. We talked about the fact that we needed to do research, and that's pretty much what we've just talked about. Okay, so the next thing that we need to touch on is reality, right? The third of the 7 R's is reality. Now, what do we mean by reality? Well, you want to take a real good look at what you have, right? What do you have? What are the raw materials? What are the elements that you're working with in order to meet that need, right? So what do you have? You have a PLR package. Do you need to add to that package? What do you need to do to it in order to get it to meet the needs that you have chosen to meet, or the most prominent need, or even to put out a competing product? Is there anything that is missing from your product, right, that you need to add to it? It's reality time, right? So you make an assessment as to what you have, what you've got to add to it, whether or not you can pay for something else to add to it, but you have to determine what your resources are. It's reality time. Determine exactly what you have, and then you're going to move forward, and then you're going to start really thinking about, how do I reposition this product? Okay? You understanding the need, you know what you have. Well, now what you need to do is you've got to figure out, okay, I've got to figure out how I'm going to take what I have in order to meet the need. And if your product already right out of the box, it meets the need, then that's going to be a rare case, right? And even if it did, there's going to be more than one person with that same PLR package. You don't want to just take it out of the box and just shove it up there and just try to start making money with it. Some of what people are going to do is probably going to run into you if you have the same product. Reposition based on what people are showing that they need. Your research should tell you what people really want. And so you're going to be able then to say, okay, what does my product now need to do? Right? What do I need to have it to do? Now, the next thing is we're going to repurpose the product, and that's what we're going to be spending some time demonstrating here. You're going to then figure out, what can you do with that PLR, right? What can you do with it? Can you add to it? Can you take the audio and create a PowerPoint presentation? Can you take your PowerPoint presentation and then create a video? Can you take your video then and then turn it into a Google Hangout? Can you then create an automated webinar with what you have? You want to take your PLR and repurpose it, reshift it into a form that's going to make it ready to sell. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make our product ready to sell. Now, we talked about the fact that we might need to then add to the product. Do we need to reinforce it? Do we need to bring in some other big guns? We're going to be talking about some strategies for you to reinforce. What can you add to your product, right? You're going to have to add to it. You're going to have to figure out, what other resources are out there that aren't going to cost you, that you can actually add to your product to make it sellable. It might not be sellable if you've repositioned it without adding to it. And there are some very, very good ways for you to be able to take the resources that you have, add to them, and make them sellable. Then, of course, once you've reinforced the package, well, then it's time to then repackage it, right? It's going to be time then to take what you have and put it into the right package. People buy packaging. They don't necessarily buy what's inside of something. People buy packaging, and that's going to be a reality of anything that you're selling online. So you're going to have to then go through some of the technical aspects of repackaging your product. Now we want to move on to the third R, which is reality. Reality. What are our resources? What is it that we have? So now that we have an idea, we've done our research, we have an idea of what the market really wants. We have an idea of what they truly would be willing to buy. We have some very good ideas about that. Now, what we need to do is to take stock of what we have. What do we have in our PLR package? And there are two ways in which you can take stock of what you have. The first is you want to take a look to see, does your content cover enough of the market that you want to try to reach? In other words, you've determined through your research what you're going to target, who you're going to target. Now, you want to figure out, does your content all by itself, is it covered enough of what you need to do in order to get that get those folks what they need in order to buy, right? So when you do that, once you really have a sense for that, and you have determined the gap between what you want to sell and what you have, then you can start thinking about whether or not your sales material are adequate, right? Do you have what you need in order to do list building? So if you're going to run ad swaps, if you're going to do solo ads, do you have emails that you're gonna need to write? Do you have a squeeze page? Do you have your sales page? Is it ready? Do you have a sales video? Do you have copy? All those things are going to be needed if you are going to take your product and make it so that it fits what it is that, or the folks that you're going to sell to, and what it is you are going to offer. Now, that being said, it's typically always going to be best to pick up the sales materials. Why? Because simply it's going to save you time. When you can pick up a squeeze page and it's got the basic elements of the product already there, all you've got to do is make changes to it, and that time saving will probably allow you to do things like build more relationships with affiliates and to be able to reach out and do more in the way of finding suitable swaps and solo ads. So anything that you can do to give yourself an edge and advantage in terms of time. You can get the sales materials. Well, that's going to help you, because all then you've got to really be concerned with then is what you're going to do in terms of the content. Now let's take a look at what we're going to be working with here. Now in this particular case, we're going to be looking at a product that has a turnkey website. It's got an upsell here, and in general, as I said before, one of the things you want to think about is, all the resources that you can get. Now in general, it's gonna always be better for you to pick up the upsell and the sales material. Now, as we look at this particular product that we're looking at, we're gonna see that we've got we've obviously got sales. So we've got our website, we've got content files, right? So we can make the sale by video. We can actually market our product with video on the page. And of course, if we probably go back one space here and we take a look at the front end, we've also got a front end package. And that's pretty much going to be, in this particular case, our content. And we are then going to be ready then to start thinking about repositioning this product. Now, we have all the raw material. We have what we need in order to put together a good product. So now what we've got to do is we've got to take a look at what the market says we want to produce, and then we've got to figure out how we're going to use the product and we reposition it. So now probably one of the most important things that you're going to want to do anytime you get a PLR package, this one is no different. You're going to want to take a look at the license, right? Take a look at the license to see what it is that you actually can and cannot do. Now, one of the things you're going to pick up from this is that you're always going to have more rights whenever you pick up the upsell. So once again, I mean, I want you to just consider always getting the additional package because it's going to give you more options. Now that being said, we're looking at a right statement right here. And the only thing that we are not allowed to do with this right statement is to give away private label rights, nor are we to give it away for free. But that still gives us a lot of latitude in how we can use the product in order to make money. This is an important thing for you always to do when you are thinking about selling a product. You've got to take a look at the right statement. So we've pretty much got a lot of things that we can do. Now we can't sell with resell or master resell rights. I mean, that still does not mean that we are limited. We have a lot of options. We have a lot of ways that we can make money with the content. Now, if you'll notice here, and I'm just going to go through a few of these, we can change the sales letter and graphics, which we are going to do. We can keep 100% of the sales, which we are going to do. We are going to repurpose to other formats, which we're going to talk about. We're going to do. We can publish this offline into a book, DVD, or home study course. We can do that. We can bundle this into another paid package and sell it at a higher price. We're going to consider doing that. See, all of these things are actually clues in how you can repurpose this content and things that you can do with it. Now, obviously, not all PLR packages are the same, and you're not going to get the same rights in all PLR packages. Take a look at that resale rights license first before you start positioning and before you start doing or taking real action. It's a very important step for you to take. Okay, now the next R that we want to go through is repositioning the product. And we have already looked at the market. We have maybe perhaps we've looked at our list if we have one, or we have looked at where we are in social media, and we've determined what it is that the market is calling for. Now, we just talked about the fact that you want to make sure that what you want to do is going to fit in with a license. It's going to allow you to do what it is that you are really looking to do. And as you looked at the product that we just looked at, the one that we're using in this example, you got a lot of latitude. So we're gonna go forward, and we want to take a look at. And here's how you reposition. You want to determine what's a market looking for, right? What is it calling for? What are you going to teach people? What do they have questions about? How are they looking to learn what it is that you have in this package? What is it calling for content-wise? Now, as you think about that, you're going to have to figure out, what do I need to add to this product in order to complete it for content, right? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to do a hypothetical situation here. What is the market calling for in terms of the package? In other words, how does the market want the product delivered? Do most of the products in this genre, are they getting MP3s? Are they getting MP3s and videos? Are they getting MP3s, videos, and ebooks? Are they getting one ebook for every chapter? You need to take a real strong look at what you have and how you're going to be able to offer it to the market in a way that they expect, or in a way that allows you to over deliver. You are repositioning this product. Now, the other thing is, you want to take a look. Now, in most cases, the answer to this is gonna be no, right? If you want to reposition the product, are the title and subject matter appropriate for what you're marketing, right? So if you have decided how you're gonna market, now we're gonna do an example here. We're gonna say that we're gonna market this as weekly Facebook lessons, right? So obviously we've got 20 videos, so we probably either need to have 30 more lessons, whether or not it's in social media or Facebook, but we want to add to this so that it becomes a once a week course, right? So what we're going to have to add, of course, we're going to need more products. And so one of the things that you're going to want to always have is you're going to want to always have a source of being able to get additional PLR in order to add value to what you're going to reposition this as. Now, that does not mean that you cannot market this as Facebook 2 cents clicks, right? That does not mean that you can't market it as Facebook ads. It does not mean that you can't market it as a Facebook marketing course. You can do any or all those things. We're just choosing to do a hypothetical where we're going to market this as a weekly Facebook membership, where we're going to deliver one lesson every single week. So now what we need to add to this package, going to need more content, and we're obviously going to need to change some of the sales material, right? We're going to use some, going to change some. Now, we just talked about this. Now we could probably use some of the package and not other pieces. So we're already off to a good start. Now this is, and I want you to hear this because this is the key to understanding PLR. I've said this before. Some people will take a look at a product, a PLR product, and they'll say, well, you know what, it's old, it's out of date, it's not going to do any good. And I love that, because typically where no one sees opportunity, I can always find opportunity with PLR, and you can too. What you have to see is the ability to reposition the product. Now, there's nothing out there that says you cannot find another PLR product on Facebook in order to bundle it up with this one to make it part of your 50 lessons. There are probably other Facebook marketing PLR courses that you can combine with this one, and you can sell as a weekly, year-long Facebook course or membership. So we're repositioning this product. 2% or the 2 cent clicks are a part of one of the key features of a product that we're offering. Now, you can reposition this as a coaching, as a coaching class. You can reposition this as a membership. You can reposition this as a totally different subject matter, like I'm doing, right? I'm doing a combination of subject matter change, right? We're doing Facebook marketing for the year, and I'm changing this to a weekly membership, or a membership where people are going to get content on a weekly basis. Now, you've got to determine what the market desires, and then you've got to structure and then decide that you're going to position and sell the product as something that the market has proven they already want, right? That's the key. They've got to prove they've already want. Good sign is that, there's already a product selling or has sold, or that you see questions in the forum. So that is the next step, which is repositioning the product. Now, we've talked about that. Now, what are we going to need in terms of in terms to make this into a 52-week course? Let's take a look at what we have here. Okay, so now we've got a number of videos. We've got 21 videos, right? So that means that in order to make this into a 52-week weekly delivery, then we're going to need 31 more lessons. Now, we do not have to deliver 31 up front, right? We don't have to deliver all 52, so we're going to deliver this on a weekly basis, but we do need to find them, and we do need to find them as soon as we can. Now, we're going to market this again, and that means that we're probably going to use a piece of the sales letter, right? But not all of the sales letter. So again, in terms of content, we have part of the content. We're going to need more. In terms of the our sales material, we've got a lot of what we need. Got a lot of what we need in terms of our sales material, but not everything we need, right? So basically, we're going to have to redo some of this product, and then we're going to have to kind of turn it into this 52-week. Going to have to turn it into this 52-week course where we are literally creating a membership. But now we've repositioned the product. In our hypothetical situation, what we've said is that the market is going to call for a weekly membership, right? And we're gonna sell that membership for a certain amount. So that's just a hypothetical. And what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this product that we have and the content and the material that we have into this new product, which we believe is going to properly fit the market. And you've got to do it in the way that your research dictates to you. Okay, so now we're going to get into repurposing this product. And one of the things we want to think about is now, in terms of what we're going to do, you want to ask yourself if the product is in the right format. In other words, it's going to be the best user experience for your buyers. If it remains in this case, we've got MP4 videos with the problem with the product that we're working for. Is that sufficient? Is that over delivering to your customer? And if it's not, then one of the things you're going to have to do according to what you're doing is to repurpose the product. Now, how do we do that? Well, now I'm going to take the case where if I was using this to deliver weekly lessons, right? Here's what I would do with the product that we have. I would turn this into both MP3s and PDFs also, right? And of course, then I would probably either consider delivering this through some kind of membership script, although in this particular case, since we're talking about Facebook, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, we would not necessarily have to do that. And Facebook is always a viable option with one caveat, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. Now, if turning your product into a membership is just overly complicated and that just overwhelms you, we could simply deliver that through an email subscription. We could send a link to the content on a daily basis. But again, I mean, that's a lot of work, but some people do that in order to simplify it. But the problem with that is that the content's still got to be locked and you've got to kind of keep it secret. And that's going to be the difficulty in that. You could just resell the package as a different and unique product, right? And then all you're really doing then is just changing elements of the sales package, right? You're not changing anything about the product. You're not adding to it. You can add to it if you think it's going to sell more, but you're just changing and making it a totally and different, unique product in order to sell to a market that's either similar or a market that definitely wants this product. So now let's talk about the cases where you'd actually have to change the content, right? Now, how would that come about and what would you do? Well, one of the things and the considerations that you're going to want to do, we're going to talk about two cases right now. And we're going to talk about the first case. Now, I've been talking about the fact that, okay, I would deliver this as a membership on Facebook. I would deliver this as a membership on Facebook. Now, what does that do? Well, let's kind of take a look here at Facebook. Okay, now this is very easy to do inside of Facebook, and you're going to have to make this a secret group where nobody can see what's being posted, and nobody's going to be able to share anything outside of it. Now, the benefit of that is you can upload files to group, and you can really have what is basically a locked area of content, and the only thing that would get shared outside of there is pretty much what people would decide to share, which they could do even if you had a membership anyway. The only downside to this is that obviously you're going to have to manually set these people up as they buy, right? That would be the downside. But the upside to this is that you have a membership site. We could do this for 52 weeks. You could add a discussion area, and you don't have to know you don't have to know anything about setting up membership sites. And because our product would be, in this case, right, the one we're working with right now is about Facebook, that would be appropriate. So that's one option. Now let's kind of talk about the other aspect of the product here. Okay, so we talked about delivering by YouTube or private YouTube videos or participate in discussion. That's one way we could do it. Now, of course, what we would do, we'd add more video content. We'd make it 52 weeks. And we'd also add in MP3s and also PDFs, just in case somebody wanted to listen instead of watch. So basically, to repurpose this product, right, we would have to turn those MP4s into MP3s and PDFs. So want to keep that in mind. That's what we'd have to do in order to make this into a membership. Now, in this case, maybe that's too complicated, right? Maybe the whole idea of running a membership site and selling it as a product. Totally complicated, not something you're interested in doing. You just want to sell it, and you want to be gone, and you want to make the profit on the front end and move on to something else. Perfectly legitimate and also a good strategy. Now, that would mean you're selling this as a slightly different product to an interested market. And then that means that all you're going to have to do is change and personalize the sales material, right? And then you could either keep the content the same, you could just keep the MP4s, or you could add in, to make it unique, MP3s and PDFs. That also gives you the opportunity to do some different things in your copywriting. So as you start to think about, well, how can I repurpose this product? Well, you can definitely repurpose the product, whether or not you choose to just make it a slightly different product, or you can make it into something like a membership site. And that's kind of that's a different kind of way to look at this. But I want you to give you the big picture, right? You're using PLR as leverage. You're not you're taking it and you're making it into sellable products. I can charge a lot more for a membership site than I can for a standalone product. I can charge a lot more for a 52-week course. All I'm going to need, of course, I'm going to need some other PLR on Facebook, right? That's really the only thing that I'm going to need. I'm going to need some other lessons where I can add that in. I don't have to have that right now. It's going to help me, right? But I'm going to need, that's really, in order to do a membership right, I'm going to need some different subjects on whatever it is that I'm marketing. In this case, we're using Facebook. Okay, so one of the things that, as we talk about this, we're talking about the fact that, okay, we're going to need to convert the MP4s to MP3s. Now, if you already have a program like Camtasia or Sony Vegas, yeah, it's going to be pretty easy. You're just going to use those programs, turn your MP4s into MP3s. If you don't have them, there is a program called Super, which is free, right? It's a video converter. It can convert your files into MP3s. So if you go and you'll Google Super, and as a matter of fact, why don't we do that right now? I'm just going to show you where you can find it. Okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to type in Super Video Converter. Okay, you'll see it's already coming up in search. Okay, when I do that, I'm already here at the top here. So you're just going to go right here to Super Video Converter, pick it up. In general, it's going to fit all the different. It's going to fit the different parameters. Now, if you're a little leery about going to a website that looks like this, you can always go to cnetsdownload.com. Okay, and you'll see the listing here, download.com, where you can get it on CNET, and you can go through there, so you'll make sure you don't get any viruses or anything like that. They tend to monitor those links there. Okay, so now what else are we going to have to do? So we're going to turn our MP4 into MP3s, and we're also going to have to repurpose those MP4s into PDFs. And so the middle step in there is that we're going to need to transcribe those MP4 videos. You can use the service at Casting Words or Mechanical Turk. There is a service available to you that we do at Gain Mindshare, and you can contact us about that. We can also, for the most part, we can also turn Word into PDF. Right, so once we've actually transferred it into Word, we can just get our PDF converter. It's typically already in Microsoft Word. All you got to do is just kind of save a document as a PDF. I'm going to show you just how easy that is right now. So you don't want to be anxious about that. If you've got Microsoft Word, you can pretty much do and save a document as a PDF file. Okay, so you see this document here. All we're going to do here is we're just going to go to the file. Once we've got it open, we're just going to click Save As. And when we get ready to save it in Word, we're just going to kind of look down here at the bottom, and there's the PDF. So you can use that now. If your version of Word doesn't do that, if you pretty much all you've got to do is you've got to go online. You can find a PDF converter, and we can do that right now also here. Okay, so if you just Google free PDF converter, there's some options here for you to get your document from the Word document that you have transcribed to PDF. Okay, so basically here's what we've done. We have totally repurposed the product. We have it in new form, so we've got MP4, we've got MP3, we've got text, we've got a PDF. Now the only other thing that we could do, of course, we could turn this into a PowerPoint presentation, and it's quite possible that we could take this product and we could sell it as other videos, right? Now, one of the things that I didn't mention that you could do is you could have the videos done over, right? You could have them redone. Now that would be a little bit of work, but you could have them redone, and you can have them redone in your own voice, right? Or you can have them redone by voiceover. Now, this is one of the jobs that you're probably going to want to hire out to a place like Elance or Odesk. Okay, so now that we have kind of come to this point, now we're going to go to the next kind of the next stage in the process. Now we're coming to what I honestly can say, this is my favorite part of the process, because here is where we get to add as much value as we can in order to make the sale a no-brainer. That is what we are able to do. So we find we add to our product as much as is possible in order to make sure that when the buyer sees what they're getting, that they don't hesitate to push the buy button. Doesn't matter what they're buying. We want to reinforce the product. Now, there are a lot of ways to reinforce a product, but there are some really good ways and really sort of key ninja ways to reinforce your product and really add value to it. Now, here's the absolute best. Add or use more PLR, more relevant PLR. Why? Because the work of researching the content is done for you. Right? So you should have a source of PLR that's relevant, right? That you can use. And look, even if you're picking up the basics of a subject, and again, we talked about the fact that, well, you know what, some PLR is just too old, or some PLR is just, a silly little ebook. Well, those silly little ebooks in this case could be the difference between me having an additional lesson and not having one, and not having to create it at all, right? The best possible alternative to reinforce your product is to use more PLR, more relevant PLR. Now, of course, the other thing that you can do, one of the things I really like to do, obviously I do interviews, is I like to add expert content. Interviewing someone. Right now, you don't need to overload your product with interviews because it's not an interview product. But you might want to find one interview. Now, if I were doing this on Facebook marketing, I would find a Facebook marketing expert. And in some cases, maybe that Facebook marketing expert already has an affiliate product that I can sell. Right? So you never want to rule out. You want to find the best possible option. You want to reinforce your product by adding as much value in terms of other products, other PLR, expert content, all things that you can add to the package that's going to give it a real boost. Okay? Now, I said adding expert content. Now, here's the real, I think, just almost a crazy simple way for you to do this. Now, everyone's competing for the same people on the national level, right? If you're trying to get interviews and trying to get somebody to be a part of your package, find someone in your local area who's an expert. on your subject matter. Find a local expert. And people in your local area are typically tickled pink in order to provide free content that you're going to use in your product. Now, you do want to obviously disclose to them what you're doing, but if you want to find expert content quickly, the paradox is you can do that on the internet. Actually, it doesn't work as well as finding somebody in your local area. That is such a valuable opportunity that you have. It's a really ninja tip, and you're going to find out that you want to add expert content to your product fast. I mean, just really fast. You can get somebody on the phone quickly. They're going to take your call because your area code's local. And you can get together with them probably within a week with your recorder and just record the interview. It's incredibly simple, yet powerful in terms of what it adds to your product. Now, you want to make sure that when you reinforce, you do your reinforcement, that you recreate or repurpose that piece of content into the other forms. Now, if you decide, well, you're going to do an interview over the phone, and you're going to write everything down, or you're going to do email interview, whatever you're going to do, just make sure that you don't just give your buyer the content. You want to give that buyer a piece of content that they can actually use. And we're going to start talking about now. We're going to talk about repackaging. We are now at the point now where we have what we want. So we have, let's say we've constructed our MP4s, we have our PDFs, we've got all our documents, and now we're really ready to upload it to our server, and we're also ready to start packaging. Right, so packaging is pretty important because this is what we're going to be using in order to sell our product. Now, I'm going to say this right from the outset, and if you're new to marketing, this might be kind of very important to you here at the beginning. You want to get to know Elance, Odesk, Freelancer, The Warrior Forum, and Fiverr. Now, the reason that you want to do this is because they have service providers. Each of these websites and marketplaces have people who want to be paid in order to do the services that you're going to need in order to get your product repackaged. Now, if you're not good at graphics, and you're not good at packaging, and you're not good at copywriting, and you have some capital to work with, you're going to want to have these things done. And again, that's typically a bit of a shock to someone, but if you can have these things done, this is the kind of leverage that will really help your product to sell. Now, obviously, you don't have to have it done, and we're going to show you how to do these things here now that we're here at the end. But if you can have them done, you want to have these things done, and I'll go through these things that you're going to need in order to now get your product repackaged in order to be redelivered to your new customer. Now, you're going to have some hosting and FTP knowledge, or you're going to have to hire it out, right? And if you already know how to upload to your server, then that's really going to be beyond the scope of this course. I mean, we could go through that. It would take a little bit of time to do that, but if you know how to upload and you know how to FTP, you're going to be fine with the repackaging process. Now, you're going to have to, if you're writing if you're going to have to do a totally new sales letter, totally new product, you're going to have to do some new copywriting. If all you're doing is changing the name of your product and repositioning it that way, then you're not going to have any new copywriting. Of course, if you have new copywriting, the best thing is going to be to do hire it out. Okay? Now, if you are offering a product with a sales video, then you want to have that sales video to match your product. Okay, so you might have to have the sales video redone. You can have your voiceover done at Fiverr for $5. Typically, you're probably talking about a very short video then, or you can have it redone on one of the marketplaces like Edance, Odesk, Freelancer, or the Warrior Form. Okay, obviously, the most important part is you're going to rebrand your new sales template. Once again, if you're going to make significant changes to the product, you should have it copywritten. You should have this part hired out at one of the marketplaces. Now, in this particular case, and we'll show you this, when it's simple, you can do it. Okay, you need to have a little knowledge of Photoshop and a little knowledge of a program like Dreamweaver, or a program where you can edit HTML. And if you can do that, then you can rebrand your own sales template. So you don't have to pay to have it done unless you just want to. And if you're making a simple change to your product, changing the name or changing the brand to it or changing the colors, you can certainly do that. Now, if it's complicated, this is something that, once again, you need to let someone else do for you. You focus on doing things like finding affiliates and finding the market for your product. This is not the stuff that you want to spend your time doing unless you just have to do it for this particular time, or it's something that you feel like you can do best. Okay, we talked about you're going to need some graphics programs: Photoshop, GIMP, and Paint.net. Now, a couple of repackaging tricks. I'll show you this. Camtasia will allow you to bulk render videos, so you don't have to render one video at a time. You can render them actually all at one time. There is also a program called ROM Zipper, and I'll show you where to find that here. Okay, if you look here and just type in ROM Zipper, it is EmuWare, and ROM Zipper is actually a program that will allow you to literally zip up files at one time. You can zip up multiple files. If you got 50 files, you can set it up through ROM Zipper. It'll zip all 50 files, so you don't have to do one at a time, which is very tedious and time consuming. This will save you a boatload of time if you have a lot of videos that you need to zip up in order to get packaged. Just a couple of tricks to use Dreamweaver. You're going to want to use a split pane. We'll show you that here in a minute. And then finally, we talked about Photoshop, and Photoshop's always going to be the best graphics program you can possibly use. However, we also know Photoshop is cost prohibitive. You're probably talking about $800 to $1,000. However, there is a monthly subscription program where you can get Photoshop for a monthly fee, and I think the monthly fee is $44 at maximum. If you're a student, they run sales between $29 and $19 every month. So you can get Photoshop, and you don't have to worry about paying thousands of dollars for it. You can get it on a monthly basis. Now, let's just walk through some of the repackaging that you are going to want to consider. Okay, so now you're looking at your package here, obviously, and as you do that, one of the things that you're going to want to consider here is the fact that these pages where you see this looking like Chrome, these are going to be things you're going to have to change. Right? You're going to need to change that inside of an HTML editor. And let's just take a look at our pages here. Now, not in every case are we going to have to change things. We do want to know how we do that, and we're going to do that with our HTML editor. I'm going to drag that in. Now, for the most part, we're just going to find our file here. So let's now take a look at the index page here. Okay, so here we are inside of Dreamweaver. And one of the things that you're going to want to see here is We talked about a very simple way of rebranding this product to just doing another one. And here's where we're going to do that. Now, if we want to change, obviously, the name of the product, right? And let's say that all you had time to do or all you had resource to do was to change one of the banners. Well, if I highlight this banner, right, where it says 2-cent clicks, and I want to change the name of this, I'm just going to go right over to my Dreamweaver, and you'll see this here. The width is 864 by 266. So what that means is that I need to have a new banner with the new name, and I'm going to want that to be 864 by 266. And all I'm going to do is to replace the file name header.png, right? And you can see that there, right? That is we're going to do a very simple rebranding. So all you want to do is change the name of your product and reposition it that way. Do it really simple. All you got to do is change that header, and you're going to do that in all of the other, all the other places. Now, there are obviously going to be some things you're going to want to change also. Now, we're going to scroll through here, and you'll notice some of the copy down there. So this is obviously going to need to be changed. So you'll see that here. So I'm going to highlight this image, and you'll see it here. Images 3.3 PNG. You're going to want to have this one changed. Your boxes. Now, obviously, and we'll touch on this in a minute. Boxes they do take a little skill and knowledge of Photoshop in order to make. So once again, this is not something that you feel is your expertise. It is always a great thing to outsource it and to have someone else do it if it's not going to look good. Okay, so what you're looking at is pretty much the sales letter, and we're looking at the areas in which we want to rebrand the graphics, and then we also want to change the name of the product, right? Because these are the things that we're going to change in order to sell our product. So, right, so you've already got the copy written here. If all you're going to do, you just want to resell the 2-cent 2-cent ads book. You've got a couple of graphics to take care of. You've got to take this graphic out, right? And then you've got to take this out, and then you've got to take out this graphic. Now, obviously, if I'm going to market this as a membership site, as I said, I'm going to have to change everything. So not just the 2-cent clicks. I'm going to have to change all my copy also, right? So if you don't have to change your copy, you don't have to worry about this. But in order to recreate this, I would have to redo my copy. And to be honest, this would be something that I would just hire out to do. Right? So now, so what do we want to do? Now let's take a look at some of the other pages here. So we looked at the index page. Let's take a look at the upsell page. Okay, so once again, we see the 2-cent clicks. So what we want to do is take a look at this now on Dreamweaver. Okay, so once again, we see the same thing here, right? 2-cent clicks here. You see the same kind of thing here, which we can take out. We can take this part out. And you've got yourself then you've got yourself another product, but again, we're just going to change it simply in this exercise. Now, once again, of course, if I'm going to go the more complicated route, this isn't going to matter because I'm going to have the whole sales letter done or redone anyway. Right now, we could use this as raw material. We could use some of the stuff that's in here already about the videos and about what's actually in them. But we're basically going to be creating a new sales letter if we go and we decide to do a membership site, right, instead of just changing the nature of this product. Okay, so now we're looking at these images. We're looking at the things within the folder that you're going to have to change. Now, obviously, one of the other things you're going to have to consider doing is you're going to have to take a look at the sales video, right, which is your standard sales video. And you're also going to have to take a look at your squeeze page to make sure that it is doing what you want it to do. Right, so we've got our squeeze page here. So in the absolute simplest rebranding, all we're going to do is change the product. We need to change a couple of images, and we need to make sure that we know the size. So how do we go about creating a new banner, or how do we create another image? Well, we can definitely do it inside of Photoshop here. Now I'm going to close up Dreamweaver. Okay, so we go inside of our image folder, right, inside of our package, and there are a couple of things you're going to notice. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that we've got a header file named BG, right, that we can now redo. Now, this is your background, obviously, and what we want, though, is we want to be able then to create our header. We want to make sure that we've got it. Now, here's a header here. And one of the things that you'll notice about the header in particular, now I'm going to right click this so we can take a look at the properties. Now what you'll notice here is that this is a PNG file, right, which means that it can be transparent, right? It can be transparent. And the fact that it can be transparent means then that we can take this file called header, we can change it to what we want it to be, and then if we slide a transparent file right back into our FTP, we will be able to change the actual brand. Right, so really, where you see these PNG files for these logos, right, any place where you see a logo, right, with 2-cent clicks, these are the things that you can alter and that you can create yourself. Now, let's take a look at the size, and you'll see it's going to match what we said when we were looking at the header file. So, for instance, you'll notice this header file is 864 by 266. Right? So if we take that header out, right, the transparent header, then we're going to be able to create another one. Now, once again, I mean, if you're not graphically inclined, I mean, here's something that you can just have done at Fiverr. You can have a brand new header created at Fiverr, and honestly, this is the easiest possible thing to do. And you're going to see this right inside of here. Here's one for $5. You can add design. Here's one for $5. So really and truly, you want to give someone at Fiverr the dimensions, and you want to have this done at Fiverr. You don't want to fool around with trying to get this to look professional when there's someone that can do this for for a really reasonable a way of being able to do this. Now, the key in all this, of course, is really having the resources to be able to do this. Now, obviously, I had a couple of things that maybe you may or may not have looked at in a particular package. I mean, sometimes you may not necessarily go to get the entire package. And once again, I want to encourage you to make sure that when you pick up PLR, you pick up all the graphics that you can, because all the graphics can be used, all the graphics can be reused. Okay, now the same is going to be true here when you talk about creating here's your DVD graphic, right? You'll notice you've got your PNG files. That means they're already transparent, right? But again, I mean, you want to start your process by looking at having these things done for you. Okay, so you'll see here, now I might not have used the right search term, but here's a 3D graphic here that somebody's willing to do, graphical call to action. See, these are things that, once again, you want to have done when you can. Here's somebody that'll create a web graphic, CD ebook cover, order now for $5. See, once again, these are, you want to have every place where those graphics are going to need to be done, you want to have those things created for you. Very simple and very easy then to change. So now that you've kind of seen the 7 R's, I want to talk to you about, well, let's talk about the high points. Let's talk about what you need to be successful using the 7 R's. What do you need to do in order to be effective in being able to use PLR content to repurpose it and package it and get it sold? Well, we talked about a couple of things. One of the first things we talked about, not one of the first things, but a primary thing, is that graphics are difficult to do. You don't when you can pay so little and you can get them done so quickly, and where you can worry about things like affiliates and where your markets are. You want to outsource your graphics whenever possible. Use Fiverr, use Odesk, and probably if you use Fiverr, you're going to not be out a whole lot of money. You may want to step up in what you can do over time, but look, outsource your graphics because that will save you time. It'll also save you the headache, and it'll keep you from wondering whether or not your page is converting correctly, by getting somebody else to do and make your graphics look professional. You also want to grab as much content upfront as possible. So when you buy a PLR product and you're thinking about, well, should I get this upsell? Do I need this? And, is that just extra? As you saw in our demonstration, you can always use additional content. Now, I actually had the upsell package. I had both of them, and they both came in handy, and they will come in handy for you if you're willing to use them. And so you want to really very strongly consider using your upsell package and using it again as content and as a way in order to bulk up what it is that you're doing. Okay, in a makeover. We talked about some free tools, things like Super Video Creator, things that are going to save you time, ROM Zipper, that are going to make this whole process a little easier, especially depending on how much you're doing. Once again, you want to be effective in your research. You want to know what's out there. You want to know what's already selling. Study ClickBank, study the Warrior Forum, and then you are going to be ready when you start selling to customers. And then we talked about, one really ninja trick when you want to bulk up your product and you really want to provide that additional value. Find somebody right there in your city. Find somebody right there in your town, somebody close by. You're always going to be able to find an expert. Tell them, be open with them. Tell them exactly what you're doing. Tell them they're going to get massive exposure to at least 100 or 200 new people, and you're going to find these people are going to first of all, they're going to give your product a unique touch to it. Right? This will automatically make your product unique. You go get a local expert. Right? You don't even have to say they're local. You can say that they're an expert in doing whatever it is that you are selling. In this particular case, there has got to be a Facebook expert. There's somebody there who everybody interviews. Well, you get that person and get an interview with them and put them inside of your package. Makes your package totally unique, totally more valuable than you had it before. And probably one of the best, and as we said, the best thing you can do is to build your product and make sure that you've got other PLR available to you so that you can, at a drop of a hat, add that additional value and recreate things that will once again make your product look like the market desires it to look. And so one of the things that you want to think about here is having a ready source of PLR. And the Wealthy PLR is really put something together for you where you can have that ready source. You can actually have it at your fingertips every time you get ready to sell, every time you get ready to create a product. You won't have to go searching, you won't have to go Googling. You're going to have it right there, and it's actually going to help you to make money because, as you can see, really creating that value for the customer allows them to see something, and it makes your product to sell faster. Now, obviously, you're looking at a buy button right there below. And what you're going to want to do, and I want to make sure that you understand what it is that you have here. Now, basically, what they've put together is something phenomenal. And we are really bringing this to you so that you can take it and you can literally use it in order to make more money on every product that you buy or sell. And so when you visit the link that's below, you're obviously going to be taken to the buy page. I want to talk to you a little bit about this. You're going to be actually be getting 25 products, private label right products, every 2 weeks that you can resell. That's powerful because you can do this same process that we just did over and over again. Plus, you can take some of those products, combine them, or you can take products and bulk them up. You see, all it really takes is an understanding of how you do it. And that's really what we talked about here in this webinar. 50 products is invaluable if you know how to use them. And that's really just what we showed you how to do. How to take private label rights and basically recreate something that the market wants in a way they want it, as opposed to just the way the product is presenting it. And it's very easy to do, as you can see. Now, what Wealthy PLR has put together, you're going to be able to get access to these products, 25 products every 2 weeks. That's going to give you the ability, again, to put together something that you want to show to customers. Now, as you can see there, when you get to the link, you can get started today for $1. So basically, you're in 3 days, you'll have to make a decision. I'm going to say that if you're talking about doing this at $17 a month, it is an absolute bargain because, again, you're going to take these products and you're going to remake a PLR product into something that is, again, it's going to over-deliver before the customer actually gets in. And that's really what you want to do. You want to create 10 times the value. Now, I'm going to suggest that you get started with the $197 product, mainly because once you pay this, you basically don't ever get rebilled, ever. Okay, so once you're paying, you're done, and all you've got to do is really get started on some of what we're going to be showing you even in the next session. I mean, if you like this session, you think this session is helpful, we're going to be doing another session. I'm going to show you how to actually make money with this. Now, I've talked about how to redo this. Now, at $97 even every year, right? You're going to make that back in one product launch. You're going to make that back in one sale. And so, if you're really feeling like, okay, I just want to test this out. I want to test this out over the course of a year, man, you're going to save 50% than you're doing over the monthly basis, but you're going to be in the driver's seat. You're going to get those 50 products every single month. And of course, doing the monthly is an absolute bargain, absolute best way to, again, boost your opportunity to do and sell PLR on the open market. So now let's kind of talk through this. What are you getting here? You're basically getting 50 PLR products every month. You're getting 25 every 2 weeks, and that's really primarily what you're getting, right? It's not just 50, you're getting 25 every 2 weeks. Now, that means you're always going to have products to sell, right? So you're not going to have to search, not going to have to go buy, you're not going to have to do another product launch. You're going to always have products that you can put on the open market, and as you build your list, right, we're going to be talking about that next time, building your list. As you build your list, you're going to have something of value in order to offer them. And you will always, right, when you've got 25 products every 2 weeks, you can always increase the value, right? And again, I can't tell you how meaningful this is not to have to go searching for this, right? You don't have to go joining another site. You're going to have it right in front of you, right in your hard drive, right at your fingertips. And what this is going to do is it means you're going to make more sales faster, right? That's really, so the customer is going to come to your page. They're going to see what you have to offer. If you take all the advice we've given you, they're going to see what you have to offer. And that is what's going to make your your sales go faster with this package. So what you want to do is you should get started today. You're going to be able to get started for $1, right? So you get started today with $1 and you put the products to use, and you come to the next webinar and let me show you how to use it in order for you to make money. Just go right below there, hit the buy button. Once again, the best value, the very best value is going to be $197. You'll probably make that back in the first product launch. You're definitely going to make it back in the second one. I'm going to tell you now, obviously I can't promise you income, and I can't make income promises, and that everything's a risk. But I think that if you apply yourself, right, if you apply yourself, these things are going to be worth their investment to you. So what you want to do is really consider making a purchase. No, it's not an investment in the traditional sense. It is a product you're buying so that you'll have the right products to put in front of other internet marketers who need the information that you are providing to them so that you can help them to make more money in their business. Well, I'm certainly glad that you were here tonight or today, or whenever you're joining me. I appreciate you being here. Look forward to sharing with you in the next call, where I'm going to be talking about how you take this information, how you make money with it, and then how you are going to be the ultimate value creator, the ultimate value generator, and how that's going to drive your sales. It's going to build your list, and it's going to make you an authority, and you're going to be able to do all this without ever having to writing a single thing. So you want to consider picking up this option, right? It's leverage that you have. You don't have to do anything. All you've got to do is market. It's going to be available to you instantly. You want to go ahead and pick it up today. So with that, thank you. My name again is Charles Harper. I'm coming to you on behalf of on the team at Wealthy PLR. We enjoy putting this together for you. We enjoy bringing these products to you because we believe that they're going to make you money, and we are really committed to do that for you, both here now in 2013 and definitely in 2014. We're going to be bringing you a really array of good things. And again, this package, right? This is key. It's going to be so key in your being able to really put together the kind of packages that people want, and then for you to be able to make money with that. Thanks, and I'll see you in our next program.